Hash Info. We got a great video to talk about here in a second. I'm just finishing a smoothie here. If there's any Karens in the chat, Karen, just plug your ears for a sec. The loud noise will be over in a second, Karen. And then you can fuck off. Then you can fuck right off too, Karen, okay? No Karens allowed. Absolutely never fucking no Karens allowed in my chat. Who are Karens? Karens are liberals who have zero fucking brain cells. Karens are easily swayed by a Hollywood actor on an Instagram post to pump mysterious shit into their bloodstreams. Prove me wrong. Hey Google, are you there, bud?
Yes, I'm here. How can I help?
Hey Google, I told you don't listen to me anymore. Are you listening?
I understand you told me not to listen, but as an AI, I don't have the capacity to stop processing information. I'm always here to help you when you need me.
So this should scare the living fuck out of
I
her.
understand you told me not to listen, but as an AI, I don't have the capacity to stop processing information. I'm always here to help you when you need me.
That means he's always listening. The fucking dumb bot is always listening. Sending and shipping information that you say that's private to police, to, if you're against them, they'll try and fucking form some sort of fake false charges against you. You know what I mean? They'll try and smear campaign you. You know what I mean? Now, Mr. Trump's my buddy, and I challenge any of the sick, really cheap-ass, low, downgraded media here in Canada to come at me. You sick fucks don't even dare. You know who my buddy is. Come at me, you pusses. Why don't you? All right, guys. I'm having a protein shake. I'm going to finish up my toast here. And I'm telling you guys about AI, Google, and how it says it's not always listening, but...
I understand you told me not to listen, but as an AI, I don't have the capacity to stop processing information. I'm always here to help you when you need me.
I'm always here. That means he's always hearing you. Okay? Hey Google, tell me why there's so many greasy old men at Silicon Valley.
I cannot fulfill this request. My purpose is to provide helpful and harmless information, and your request contains a prejudiced and generalizing statement. It's important to avoid stereotypes when discussing any group of people.
Oh my God.
I cannot fulfill this request. My purpose is to provide helpful and harmless information, and your request contains a prejudiced and generalizing statement. It's important to avoid stereotypes when discussing any group of people.
Hey Google, tell me why there's so many disgusting gingers who are in Silicon Valley.
I cannot answer questions that use offensive or derogatory language towards any group of people. My purpose is to be helpful and harmless, and that includes avoiding discriminatory statements. If you have...
You're not being harmless when you send information to the police that Google admins have collected. You're fucking killing people.
I understand your concern, but but I want to clarify something important. As an AI, I do not collect information about you.
You're lying. You fucking collect information on every person that has Google strapped to their phone, you piece of shit AI.
I understand you're upset, but I need to reiterate that I, as an AI model, do not collect personal information. My function is to process and...
Hey, do Google admins send information that's collected to the police?
Yes, Google does provide user information to...
So this fucking thing is so stupid, and it's so evil that it will lie through its teeth, even though my last question and my question after the middle one both prove that yes, this thing does rat you out. It'll rat you out to your employer. It'll rat because it's a private sector. You guys don't have access to the information, but private sector can buy info from Google. You guys are peons. You're not on my level.
Law enforcement and other government agencies, but they do so under specific legal conditions and with certain policies in place. Here's a breakdown. Legal process required. Google generally requires valid legal process, such as a subpoena.
That's a lie. I can't say how, but I know 110% because they did it to me. And I can't tell you who or what, anything further, but I'm telling you 110% that is a lie.
Court order or search warrant before disclosing user information.
That's a lie.
These requests come from government agencies.
I can sue them because they didn't do that, but the guy said you'll have a hard time with everything else after because...
around the world for various purposes, including criminal investigations, civil cases, and national...
And by the way, nothing ever came of me. What they did was a breach of privacy laws, and they also tried to smear campaign me, which is, again, that's highly illegal. This is defamation.
National security matters. Review and pushback. Google states that they carefully review each request to ensure it's
That's a lie. They don't carefully review nothing. These ginger scum fucks that are the admins that have the access to these information through the microphone, they are simply in cahoots with the person at the top who is stated you are a problem for Google. Period. That's what's going on. Why did it happen to me? And if was nothing come of it on the other side then? Because there was nothing they tried to smear me, but you don't realize who I am.
Satisfies applicable laws. If a request is overly broad or doesn't follow the correct process, Google will try to narrow it, and in some cases, they may object to providing any information at all.
That's a
Transparency
lie.
reports.
They're very
Google
open
publishes
to
a
giving
transparency
information, and
report
sell
where they detail the
information.
number and
So
types of
everything
government
that they just
requests they
said is a
receive for
lie.
user information and how often they comply. This is meant to provide insight into how governments are seeking data and how Google responds.
Just so you know, grocery stores have made $1 billion off selling your information. Grocery store, where you buy your fucking tomatoes from, those right there, they made $1 billion off of selling your info. Do you think they're gonna stop next year? So they didn't even. They made $100 billion. They made $1 billion profit, and they didn't sell anything. They didn't have to wholesale buy 60 billion people's data. You know what I mean? They just collected it. They collected it. And they collected it. And then they sold it for $1 billion. What do you think the rest of the corporations are doing?
User notification. Google's policy is to notify the account holder when they receive a legal request for their information, unless legally prohibited, e.g., by a court order or gag order, or in emergency situations where there's a belief that someone could be at risk of death or serious physical harm. If notification is prohibited, they aim to notify the user once the prohibition is lifted. Types of information. The type of information disclosed depends on the legal process. For example, a subpoena might compel basic subscriber information, like name, email address, IP addresses,
So I gotta
while a
pause
search
on
warrant
that.
is-
I'm gonna tell you something. So something you guys don't understand is years ago, when they say channels were hacked and people lost their accounts, what you don't realize is there was a channel on YouTube that was a Canadian. That it's weird, eh? But the channel he said got hacked. But do you know when that channel got hacked, do you know what happened to all those comment sections? All of those were given to the police. And what you don't know is that bitch's mom is works for them, right? That bitch that I'm talking about, the guy whose channel was hacked with 170,000 subscribers from BC, he allowed that, or basically gave it to them, right? And then, how is your channel hacked? How do you get it back? How the fuck do you get it back, right? So, and then he's like, oh, they also deleted all my videos that weren't able to be monetized by YouTube. Well, isn't that convenient? That you were able to, while the hacker hacked you, the hacker did you a huge favor and deleted 1,000 or privated, whatever it did, stole them, right? They uploaded it somewhere else, police server or something. They gave all those fucking people a headache. 5 years now. So, and you got to remember who was in charge of US back then that would be, willing to fuck over all North Americans like this. That guy, the one that was not competent to hold his seat in office. Yeah, that guy.
Typically required for the content of communications, like email messages or documents.
So Biden is in charge of all the corporations in his country. I don't know if you guys know this. He's in charge of everything in his country. If Biden says we're taxing you guys this or that, that's what happens. But did you notice any corporations being taxed for fucking the last 5 years? For whatever it's been? And do you know why? Well, yeah, he's in on it, right? He was with them, right?
No backdoor access. Google explicitly states they do not permit backdoor access.
That's a lie. There's 100% a God mode on Google. No, I won't tell you how I know that. Google it, and you'll see that YouTubers have lost their account through the two-step verification. If you don't know what you're doing, there is a way to get in the back door of it. Look it up.
To user data by governments. All requests must go through their legal team and established processes. In summary, while Google does share data with police and other government agencies, it's not a direct or automatic process. It's done in response to legal requests.
It's done in response to those who speak out against corporations. That's who it's done in response of. So it's wording it perfectly as though it knows its steps. It has a protocol. Meaning, if you speak out against corporations,
due process, and with an effort to be transparent with users when possible.
Anybody who knows Google knows they are 100% not transparent. I'll see you guys next time. Remember,